Good morning, everybody. I'm Nikki Myers, Mrs. Colorado 2014, and today I have the pleasure of interviewing Audrey Mendez. She'll be competing in the 2020 Mrs. Colorado pageant in July, hopefully July 11th at the Ellie Calkins Opera House. So Audrey's going to tell us her title, what area she's representing, and then just a little bit about herself.
Good morning. I am Audrey Mendez, Mrs. Cherry Creek 2020, 2019, and 2018. Lucky number 3, I think. I hope. A little bit about myself. Well, first I have to excuse, we have French bulldogs and there's snorting in the background, so it sounds like there are pigs and they're pig-like dogs, and so that's what that is. I'm a Colorado native. I grew up in Breckenridge and I went to high school in Grand Junction, and now I live in Denver. So I've sort of seen all the state has to offer, and I absolutely love my home state. I am a mother of one. No, mom who is watching, I am not having another one. I am one. And I'm just really excited to continue to compete no matter what the outcome is.
That's awesome. So like you said, this is going to be your 3rd year running. And I just love it because you're a fun gal and I like that you keep coming back. Tell me what motivated you the first year to join the pageant and kind of why you keep coming back.
So I'm no stranger to pageants. I competed, well, I dabbled, I should say. I dabbled in my teens and then, sort of into my 20s. But for me, my first year in particular, it was following the shift of a new identity as a mom. And that for me was hard. It was a challenge, and it was really consuming. And it was sort of, while I adore being a mother and I would do anything for my child, I wanted a sense of doing something for myself. I had a really successful career in the horse training world before I had my daughter. And when I got pregnant and we moved home, we were living in South Texas at the time, that came to a really abrupt halt. And that was really challenging for me. And so I thought, what is something else that I really enjoyed doing for the span of my life? And I kept coming back to pageantry. So my first year I entered really just for the feeling of doing something for myself. It was truly just an act of self-care. And that's sort of how that began. And then I remembered how much I love to compete. I love it. And I love it not because, I want to win. I mean, I think that's obviously a common thread if you keep coming back. Or for any woman who competes, the idea that you could win is very exciting. But I came back the second year because I had gained so much from the first year. I had gained friendships, and I had gained a new and better, stronger sense of self. And I allowed myself permission to take care of myself. And I really wanted to continue that example for my daughter. So that was second year. The thing about your second year is that you're so laser focused. It's crazy. Like, you live the pageant, you breathe, you sleep, you don't eat.
Just healthy, right?
Yeah, but you're cutting those carbs and you're not having nachos, whatever. So you're so laser focused, and that has changed this year for me. While I'm focused, it's not the center of my life. It's not the center of our family lives. There obviously are external things going on for all of us as a society. And then within our family scope, we have sort of some outside pressure and outside chatter and hurdles that we're facing together this year. So it can't be my primary focus, but I love it so much. I really love that it's kind of the light at the end of a tunnel. It's a yucky year for us. So that's why I'm back this year.
So if 2020 does turn out to be the year that Miss Audrey Mendez is crowned, tell me what you want your year to look like.
It's, had you asked me that before the COVID-19 pandemic, I think I would have had a very different answer. For me, I look at it and I go, I just want it to be a joyous year. I have some ideas of things that I would like to do with a platform. While this is not a specifically platform-based pageant, I have some things that are really important to me. But stepping outside of that more and just focusing on it being a joyous year and spreading joy and love and happiness and laughter wherever I can at whatever appearances and whatever organizations need a ray of sunshine. I think of right now, that's so important. So that, as we've shifted, right, has become, kind of what I envision.
Awesome. Yeah, I think every community can use that, and hopefully every queen in every state and every area can bring that once we're able to actually go outside.
Again.
And I want to jump back a little bit and talk about your year to year, because you
Interesting, hasn't it?
you had an interesting transition, and I think it's really important, because what I love about what you did was your first year, as most, and I think it's coming out in all of my interviews with the contestants who have come back, is that your first year, everybody's really green. Everybody's a rookie. Nobody quite knows what to expect, even if you've been in the pageant world before, because the Mrs. Pageant world is a little bit different. It's not as competitive in the way that you think, like people think, oh, pageants are catty and whatever. And I think that it just has a different vibe, and we are married, and we're career women, we're mothers, so it's just a different experience. And our director, Emily, does such a great job of making it feel different too. It's more of a women's retreat than a pageant.
Yep.
But what I want to talk about, because you actually got national news coverage for it, is that your first year you came in, you wore a lovely gown.
No, but you know what? It wasn't a gown.
What did you wear?
It was a jumpsuit, but the legs were so wide that it gave the illusion of a gown.
Right, that's right. Okay, so you did wear a pantsuit then, evening gown, but your first year, apparently not many of us knew that. But
no, it was like a sneaky pantsuit. I snuck them in.
Tell us about your second year, because you really took a leap of faith, and I want to hear about that.
Oh, Lordy. Okay. The suit, the year of the suit. It should be, on the Chinese menu is the year of the suit for me. So, it's really funny. Coming off the heels of the first year, I'm just kind of a weirdo. I'm just there's no better way to say it.
You're unique, and you are definitely your own person, and I love that.
Thing. I love gowns. I struggle to find one that really, I think, expresses me. I like fashion, I like edgy, I like different. And for me, I just struggled with both years, really, my first and my second year, finding something that I felt really, truly comfortable in. So my first year, I found this, jumpsuit, and I loved it. I was comfortable in it. At the time, my body was not, she was rounder. So I felt that it, for what I was working with, it worked well, and I was happy with that. And I was just physically comfortable. I was like, yeah, I can move. So that was great for me. The second year, I struggled with finding a gown. I was like, I thought about having a gown commission that looked like a tuxedo, because I love menswear on women, and I couldn't get the design right. I happened to find this suit by Sherry Hill that was, liquid beading. It's a pantsuit. It's a black sparkly pantsuit. And I put it on, and I just went, oh my gosh, I've got to have this. I feel beautiful. I feel empowered. I feel that this very much expresses where I'm at this year. And so I knew it would be a risk. I knew it was sort of pageant adjacent, and I would have to really take it up a notch elsewhere. And I was fine with that. I was comfortable in my own skin, therefore I was comfortable in my own suit, and I was just excited to compete in it. And for me, I think so much of how you approach the competition is understanding deep down who you are and just going for it. And that's what I did. I knew it would be a risk, and I was okay with that. So that's sort of the evolution of the suit. What's funny, though, is that after, sort of the dust settled and the pageant was over, and I cried, because you cry of joy, and it's over, and you're tired, and you just feel like, oh. But months later, it sort of became this like weird viral thing on a very specific women's empowerment group on Facebook. So, I think in the span of 10 hours, it had 40,000 likes. And one of the women who's in this group she works for the Today Show, which is the print version, obviously not the show version. I was really trying to weasel my way onto that show, though, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, I'll fly anywhere. I'll be on the air. But they called and they interviewed, and I was really pleased to see that while it may not have struck a chord with the judges that year, it struck a chord elsewhere, and it really inspired other women, and I'm seeing it more and more now. Other women and even younger girls embracing the pantsuit. So I'd like to think I was on the forefront of that trend.
But I think it shows to a little bit of, we want obviously our contestants to be themselves, and we want you to bring what you want to the table. And you know what? It didn't work out for you that year, but that was one of your best years because you felt so good in what you did. And that's a great lesson for your child, and that, I did my best. I put it all out there, and yes, I didn't win, but I gained XYZ from that experience.
Well, that's the thing. I never walked away regretting the choice. I was never like, man, if only I had done a gown. I still look at those photos and go, oh my gosh, that suit, it's to die for. Yes. So I to this day still love it. And I'm not going to lie, I have my moments where I'm like, maybe I'll just wear the suit again. But but you can't wear the same thing twice. No. I'm not Middleton. I can't pull that off.
No, I do have to comment on how fabulous you look today, being that we're in quarantine. I mean,
this is just a normal Saturday for me. This is how I cook. I'm just kidding. It was the only time I could pull out something nice for like the last 6 weeks.
Right. So I applaud you for actually getting dressed and not, getting stuck in the muck of this time, this weird time. So I want to know someone you admire and why.
Aside from my own mother, who is by far and away my best friend, my late mother-in-law, she passed away almost a year ago. It'll be a year ago at the end of this month. She was a really close friend of mine.
It's okay. I met her. She was a lovely woman. I would be upset too. I know she held a special place in your guys'
heart. She did. She, again, apart from my own mother, was my number one fan, but we were really close friends. She was incredibly generous, incredibly fierce and loyal in the way that she loved you. And she would do anything to help you, anything in the world to help you. And you just knew that it was such an unconditional love. And that it's just so special to me. She's someone I always watched. Even, I've known my husband since we were teens. So I've known her for a long time. And I just always watched the way she was able to give love and then just receive love. I think sometimes it's really hard to receive it when you're so generous with love. And I just always thought that was really inspirational. I can't explain it. She was just someone who just lit up, not a room, she lit up your life. And I would really love to be that for everyone that I hold dear to me. So I often think, what would Becky do? What would Becky say? How should I approach this situation? And so I miss her and I admire her greatly still.
That's awesome. We've talked a little bit about preparation. Tell me what your typical prep looks like for. I know it's a weird
preparation or my gym.
So tell me, what are you doing to get ready for this year, as it's already been moved back, but also we can't do our normal things? Give us some insight into what your pageant quarantine prep looks like.
Pageant quarantine. Right now, I'm just trying to be really mindful about the health conscious choices I make, more than just like, physical health. Like, oh, hey, I'm counting my carbs, which I'm not. But more just paying attention to mental health. I think right now, as a coping mechanism, it's easy to be complacent. That's where I naturally go, like, I'll get to it tomorrow. I'll get to it tomorrow. So I'm just trying to be really mindful of, hey, is this competition the end all be all? Absolutely not. However, if you're going at it from a self-care perspective, which that's what it has always boiled down to for me, how am I being mindful and taking care of myself today? Because setting the example of how I take care of myself also sets the example for my daughter. How will she cope during, really bizarre and stressful situations? So there's that component. And then, just like eating vegetables, and I'm working out. But, workout in your basement is not exactly the same as like going to the gym and getting on the treadmill. So I'm just trying to make smart choices every day, and knowing that I am not the only one struggling right now. There's some sort of solace in that, right? You just know this isn't easy for everybody. Be kind to yourself. Nourish yourself in the best way that you can.
Awesome. Yeah, I need I've been watching your social media. I need some of those recipes. You've been, she's been putting up a lot of interesting breads and cookies.
There's a lot of like therapy baking happening right now. And I keep trying to pawn it off on other people. And I'm really struggling to, because everyone's tired of my butter, sugar, and carbs, that I keep taking them because I can't be trusted with them. So I should probably take it down a notch on the baking.
I am going to go on a really random tangent here. And one question I've kind of asked everybody is, tell me about something from your childhood that you cherish, a toy or a memory, something along those lines.
Oh, Lordy. This is such an easy one for me, and it's so obvious if you know me personally. I, as an equestrian competitor, all of my horses that I've owned for my life, that is my heart, my soul. I never feel more myself than when I am competing and training and riding my horses. So for me, all of my fondest memories are competing, but not really so much competing. I'd say more the work, more the grunt work and the hard rides that teach you, communication, that teach you patience, a lot of patience. So it's really the work of preparing for competition for horses are by far and away, from the time I was 5 to even now, I still ride occasionally. So that's me. That just is me. The memories are real.
That's awesome. And you were like pre-Olympic, right? For your horses?
Yeah. So I started, it's convoluted, if you're not a horse person. So I started in the world of the American Quarter Horse Association, AQHA. Actually, that's not true. I started in 4-H up in the mountains because that is all that we had. And things escalated very quickly. So then I started competing on a national level. So my mom would drive me down from Breckenridge every single day to Lafayette, Colorado to train with my trainers after school. I would do my homework in the car, I would ride, and then we'd turn around and go back up to Breckenridge. And then on the weekend, I would either stay the weekend with my trainers or would be on the road at a show. So that is how I grew up. Later, I discovered a different discipline within the American Quarter Horse Association, and I made a switch there. And that was, excuse me, really on the road to becoming an Olympic hopeful. That was in my teens. And then I got a boyfriend and a car, and I was like, I want to. So that took a pause. On and off through college, I still rode, but not the way that I had. Later in life, I discovered dressage through the U.S. Dressage Federation and several other governing bodies. And that's when I really started working toward my gold, silver, and bronze medals within USDF, and trying to qualify to make it big. Then I got pregnant, so I get so close. I get so close.
Well,
something happened.
Story though, that you went from such a young age and you stuck with something. I mean, I can't get my 9-year-old to stick with something for more than like 3 months. So
it's one of those things though, when he finds it, right, it just takes off.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, it's a lot of when you're so focused on something, you become socially a bit strange. And so that, I was like the weird horse girl. And that just becomes, it can be isolating, I guess is what I'm getting at. If you're really, if you're really truly focused, it can be isolating at times. However, I would never under any circumstances undo or change or go back in time and not do any of those things. That's how much it means to me.
Absolutely. I understand it. I went through the same thing, I think, in the dance world, right? My dad was a single dad, put me in dance because that's what girls do. And 20 years later, I was still dancing. So I get that. And it is, whoever you're around becomes your family and you travel with them. But it takes a lot of dedication and kind of shutting out everything else. I can't count how many birthday parties I missed on a weekend because I had a dance competition or rehearsals or whatever. So yeah, I think we all, hopefully find that thing that we're passionate about enough to, give it our all. So that's
It's
awesome.
true, right? Sometimes you leave it and you come back to it. It's okay. The shifts are all fine. At the end of the day, you just love what you love. And if you come back to it, great. You'll always find a way back to it, I think. If it's truly, your one true love.
Exactly. Even if it's vicariously through our kids, right?
I'm like, sit on the pony and ride the horse.
Like horses. That's awesome. So you've mentioned a couple of things that you feel like you've gained through your pageant years with us. What's something that you hope to walk away with this year if it's not the crown?
I think every year for me, I uncover another layer of feeling comfortable in my own skin, confidence, and resilience. So I'm excited to see what is unearthed this year in that regard. I don't know how else to put it, really. I always walk away with friendships. I know that's going to happen, but it's kind of a spiritual journey in a way, because you just go, wow, I didn't know that I had that in me. And conversely, I didn't know there's room for improvement in this area. I can improve my communication skills. And for me, I think that's been really important, I would say, from last year to this year, is I've become better at communicating directly, still kindly, but also very firm in boundaries, which is something I'm not typically great at. So, I for whatever reason, pageantry's helped me to sort of find that voice, and I'm really thankful for that. So this year, I'm just excited to see, kind of what else I uncover and figure out what I want to work on as my personal goals, and just also be surprised at, something I am capable of that I didn't think that I was.
That's awesome. All right, last one. You can either share a story that you want to share or a fun fact or anything else you think the world needs to know about Audrey Mendez.
Oh, a story. My stories are all horsey, so that's not really fun. Fun fact. Oh, geez. Under no circumstances should I ever be allowed to make meatloaf. It's never good. It's always dry. If someone out there has tips or a recipe that may resolve this problem, but my family's on a meatloaf strike, I can't even suggest that we're gonna have meatloaf for dinner at this point. So it's not great.
One of the keys I found is to make them in small batches. So instead of one big loaf, you kind of make your almost like a burger patty, but a little bit thicker, kind of round, almost like an oval shape. And try that. Give that a try. Because that is actually one of Jack's favorite dinners, is my meatloaf.
My mom was like, I remember loving meatloaf as a kid. My mom would make it, and I don't know what I'm doing. It's a mystery to everybody. I don't know where I go wrong.
Well, since it is quarantine and they can't go anywhere, I will send you my recipe and you will tell them this is what we're trying tonight because you have no other choice.
What is happening? It's meatloaf for hungry. I don't care.
I love it. Well, Audrey, I am so grateful for your time. I am so excited to hopefully see you in July. And just keep up the good work as much as you can from home, and we'll see you in July.
Yes, ma'am.
All
Thank
right.
you so much. I appreciate your time as well, and I will watch this and I will cringe at myself.
Share it and make sure everybody comments on it, right? Awesome, girl. Have a good weekend.
Thanks, you too.
Bye.